evening, guys. Welcome to Off the Bench, the first episode of the Rockingham Sharks TV weekly footy show. With me are my two panellists, Millen and Pistol Pete Williams. Evening, boys. How are we?
Good. All good.
So, those who don't know Pete's originally from Wigan, God's country, Byington land. Been in our third country for a couple of years now, Pete.
Yeah, 2 years, yeah.
And he's currently the Sharks' first grade coach and obviously the head of the Pirates development programme as well. Brendan Millen, he's our token Australian on the panel. Local WA born and bred.
Yep.
And been with the Sharks about 2015, Brett?
About 2015, yep.
Yeah, and involved with our juniors, runs our junior programme, and we'll learn lots about these two over the next half hour or so and over the coming weeks. So, Pete, Perth, mate, you loved up here 20 months ago.
Yeah.
How and why?
Long story, but finally did 8 trips over 2 years, forward and back to Manchester, and then finally decided to give it a go and move over last August. Couldn't work for 5 months to start with, which was a bit of a killer. So obviously hunted round for some rugby league to keep me sane. And then obviously met Dale and through the Pirates first, and then got a call out the blue for the Sharks last year. Would I come and manage and coach the Sharks, and here I am.
Good stuff, mate. And you're settling in well. You like the Perth weather?
Just been to Canberra at the weekend, watched the lad play. Freezing, absolutely freezing. So definitely climatising to the weather. But yeah, loving it.
Now we'll jump across to our Aussie friend, original Sandgroper Brett.
Certainly am.
Right.
Yep.
AFL country here.
Yep.
What even possessed you to get involved with rugby league?
Rugby league's been a big part of my life. My old man played pretty high level rugby league back in Sydney. He moved over fixing the totes in 1972 or something like that over here at the Greyhounds.
Good year.
Found my mum and then never moved back. So basically my rugby league heritage comes from him. Never got to really play the game as I was young because the parents got actually ripped off by a dud franchise back in the 80s. So mum had to go back to work and I had to go down and play AFL, or Aussie rules back then.
So you played AFL?
I played AFL for many years.
What did you play? Front pocket? Back pocket? Off the field? What was your thing?
Cutting oranges on the bench, mate.
Orange on the bench? Yeah. Well, it's probably better than playing the game, isn't it?
When you're built like a matchstick, you don't really go far.
Mate, so you run our junior programme, last 2 years in particular, but
Yes.
like I said, 2015 you got involved coaching one of the little 60 sides, and
Yes.
you saw an opportunity to obviously help improve what we do.
Yeah.
Rockingham's been a big junior base for a while. We've had to play a couple of backward steps in recent years. And mate, how are we looking 2021?
Yeah, I really enjoy being the junior director and actually being really a strong part of the Sharks. I'm very passionate about junior footy and actually trying to produce some of these junior stars for someone like Pete to nurture in the senior ranks. So we try and set them up for the senior ranks, and I think we're doing better each and every year that we're doing it now. But to start with, for this year, it's the biggest year I've ever been involved with numbers-wise. The influx has been astronomical. The amount of kids, we've closed most age brackets before we even started the first training session. It's just been nuts. It has absolutely been nuts. I've just got some numbers here to actually show you where we're at. So as of right now, we're at 356 juniors. And basically fielding every single grade.
That's good.
The only grade I don't think we'll field is an under 15s girls tackle.
Okay.
So we're doing pretty good there. It's the fullest I've ever seen our club.
And the girls' space, we're pretty new in that space as a club. I think,
Pretty new in
space.
it. Yeah, it's
a contact.
Yeah, we've always had our GLT, Girls League tag, but we've definitely got an under 13 girls tackle team.
That's good.
And there's a 17s girls tackle team brewing that's going quite well as well. So the girls' space is looking really good.
Good.
Just numbers for perspective, in 2019 we were at 279, so that was a big year. It wasn't the biggest year we've had, but it was a good year. COVID year last year we dropped down to 214, so to get back to 356 before we've even kicked a ball is pretty outstanding, I thought.
That's good. It's good to see the kids are in good hands. Obviously, we've been talking just today, Pete, about training and numbers and how we're shaping up in the seniors, and obviously that production line's got to kick in at some point and start getting some blokes through into the senior ranks. And Pete, your thoughts on that with juniors, mate?
Yeah, absolutely. If you look last year at the grand final team, I think we had 5 or 6 kids, I call them kids still because that's what they are, that under 20, and we had 5 5 at 18 and 1 at 17, and they've all come through the Sharks Juniors and through the Pirates program. So obviously it's a production line for the Sharks. Just on numbers this year, we've had a few new players come down. Sam and Searle Pera, the exciting prospects, a silky centre, and Sam's a big power lifter, and he's been down, so he'll help Jules up in the front row of the pack. And we've had a few other boys who are in and out sort of thing, but hopefully from this week we need to push on and really get our heads down and get the numbers down to training.
Right now, don't want to dwell on last year, but obviously October was made the grand final against all the odds. I think really not in your mind. I remember when you got the job and 2 weeks in you said, "Oh mate, we're not going to be competitive really until probably late July, August." That was your chat, and to further come August we became competitive and we went out on that run to the grand final. And how much did it hurt that grand final day?
Oh, I've been doing this job a long time, and you've got to look back and review things positively. I mean, for me, I've never been into extra time 3 times, so I looked at myself and said, what could I have done better? And when you've got lads who've played 100 minutes already and not had a break, really, I should have focused more on that last tackle option and that last tackle kick to make sure that they had to come out of their own half to get down to the other end of the field. But again, that was my review on myself. I wasn't happy with that. But to look at the face of those boys in the changing room and the distraughtness of them, I've never seen that in my career.
My boy was the ball boy, and he was distraught. I've never seen him so distraught.
Yeah, there's just the support, the crowd. It was a real good occasion. However, it's one of those things. It's a catastrophitic balls up, and there's no good going on about it. I thought AJ was fantastic how he spoke because he was a better man than I was that day because I couldn't speak. I had nothing to say really, nothing positive to say. And I believe if you've nothing positive to say, don't say anything. But we move on another year, and hopefully the fire's burning in those lads' hearts as much as it is in mine to go one better this year.
Like we know, obviously, Quinton Foos moved over to New South Wales. He's an exciting young fella that's moved on. And Emerson Whittle, who was outstanding last year, he's moved to Carnes Brothers in Queensland. Them 2 big losses, but there's 2 probably the losses that we've sort of overlooked that have been at the club a long time. Obviously, Peter Worth pumps. It seems this minute. Today, he's retired today. We're not sure tomorrow, but he's retired at the moment, all the pumps. And obviously, Reece Potter. He's 30 years of age, made the season. He's got a family on the way, and obviously, footy needs to take a back seat for a while. And how much of a loss to the team is that with them 2 players?
I think he's a loss to the club more than the team as a whole. Just a good bloke to be around. I've known him 2 years, but apparently he's changed his life around a lot. He's just a generally good bloke, but I played him off the bench and he wasn't massively impressed at first, but I believe he had a really, really good season. He steadied the ship, an old head, and he had a real good season. Again, he's got a little young girl on the way, and I can't blame him for changing direction of his life at this time. But you never say never. I've got a pair of boots that'll fit him, and
I'll buy the pair if he needs to. That's all right.
But yeah, real loss to the club. As for Quinton, he's gone over to Newcastle studying. He's already got a club. He's playing in the under 19s at Newcastle South, I think it's called, which we got set up for him. Real good kid. Probably out of all the kids what I've seen over here, he's got the most talent and the most I wouldn't say desire. He's got a great attitude. Mentally, he needs to grow as he grows. But I definitely think he's got the most talent of all the kids I've seen in WA so far.
Right, we're talking about while we're on Reece. I mean, I suppose like you talk about being a good clubman and so on. What's the impact he has on the juniors? He's a pretty popular guy, isn't he, Reece?
Certainly, yeah. Every time I've lent on him for help with our footy team, or just go and talk to a group of kids that need that pep talk and stuff like that, he's always been just obliging. You know, he's been a great person to have around the club, helping out. He even helped with our under 13s last year with Woody coaching. He said it's just an ultimate club, man.
I remember we had we talk about things he do, and AJ's another one that always puts his hand up and helps out around the club. And we had a sponsorship with Mazda, and we launched the Thorny Devil, Dirty Fin. I had the two of them in full kits. They had little Thorny Devil hats on. They had bottles, and they're walking around this dealership. And honestly, like you think most blokes would tell you to go on it, Nick, but no, we'll do it, and they get it done. And I always remember that they're the kind of blokes that really do the right thing by the club. And so hopefully we see Reece off the field this year, helping us out and staying involved.
Hopefully we get new people step up that take those roles. You know what I mean?
Let's hope so. There's plenty of opportunity. We'll just shift on from the Sharks. So the way the programme works, we try and talk a little bit about the Sharks, but not all about the Sharks. We want to talk about NRL, and we'll get on some Super League stuff, and we always have a bit of a chat about. Hey, we all sit around the bar drinking, having a chat about footy, and that's what this is all about in the day. So this week at the NRL, so we talk about the game's so quick now. We talk about player welfare and the injury toll from last weekend, and so they've come out. Landis has said they're going to bring an 18th man from round 5. So I've got my view. Is that going to solve our injury problems? Is that going to assist the injury problems we're having with the game? Because some of the injuries have been serious. Concussions, we've got ankles, knees. We've always had those injuries. But is it because the game's so fast? Is an 18th man going to solve those problems?
No,
that's why
injuries will still happen.
I just think it's turning more into a game of the fittest rather than game of the most skillful and most attacking wise teams. You saw that the weekend with the Raiders and Auckland, 3 men down. You know that they could have scored 60 in the first half, and if they carried on. But again, you know, with the size and the magnitude of their forwards, how they run, you know, fitness was the key. I just think on the agility side, you know, they're turning quicker, they're playing the ball quicker, and these are prone to pop in straight away. I believe we've got to have some break. I mean, the worst rule for me is you find touch as game management. You walk to a scrum, you scrum down, you go from there.
My favourite part of the game, I'll be honest. I just love it. Yeah.
But again, that's game management. They're taking that away, so they're just making it 100 miles an hour. Great for the spectator. Duration and durability of the players will are breaking down in round 4.
But in today's game, where would Marco Millen and Georgie Rose fit? Nowhere.
No. Wouldn't get a run, would they?
No.
But you look at, like, we talk about obviously the TV dollar drives the game, it funds the salaries, but at some point the player welfare is going to be more important than that dollar, surely. Surely.
You talk about those guys, and people used to go and just to watch them.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? And but yeah, for me, it's we'll see. It's not sustainable, I don't think. But we'll see where we go in the next 2 or 3 rounds. Again, big changes will have to be made again. I understand they're trying to make the game faster, but there's a point where you've got to look at player welfare.
Right, well, that'll do us for our controversy for this week. We'll have something fresh for next week. We'll always have something to talk about because the NRL never stops. Give us something to talk about. So, next segment we're going to talk about is every week we're going to pick our top 3s. Alright, so every week top 3. This week we're going fullbacks. They can be anywhere in the world. NRL, Super League, might even be Russia. Wherever you've seen blokes play footy. Alright, so your top 3. I'm going to give you mine first, and I'll see how you go with what you guys have got, alright? So we'll see how we go. 2 of mine didn't finish up playing at fullback, but I honestly believe that's where they started the game when they were 19, 20, 21. And I think they set the games on fire in respective hemispheres. Yeah. And when we moved them out in positions, they made a controlling role in the game, but I think we lost that bit of flair they had before. So Henry Paul was one, so Kiwi International. He was probably he was at Wakefield first in 91, 92 maybe. Yeah. Come on the scene. I remember seeing him at fullback. He had a drop out. He dropped it out and he chased his own drop out, caught it on the halfway line and scored full into the field. The guy was phenomenal at reading the game, at his positional play. At fullback, he channed the line when he wanted the ball. He was great on his feet and he had some wheels. He was really good. Moved him into the halves later in his career. He became more of an organisational half. Well, I think that was just lost on him really because that's not how he played football. He was more played what he's seeing, and that was him. Darren Lockyer was the other one, number 2. Again, another one started at fullback. I think he played with Queensland Straight at fullback in his younger years, and then actually moved into 5'8" as he got older. And thirdly, number 1 for me, and I'll be honest, I don't stand well. He's Queenslander and he's up himself as a typical Melbourneian, but Billy Slater is a modern day fullback. Support play, he could defend. with his hands, his shoulders, even good with his feet defending and cleaning up when he go for a cover, try and kick, do all the things. But he could play, and I think as a modern day fullback, Billy Slater for me is at number one. What do you books got?
Well, Matt.
You want me to go?
Yeah, from the Aussie time.
This will be interesting for Aussie.
I looked at it as I'm a massive Tiger supporter. Started as Balmain and now West Tiger supporter, so long suffering.
Not your fault, man.
Yeah, it's long suffering. But growing up, watching the Sunday game of the week and stuff like that, it was Gary Drack for me. Absolutely outstanding fullback.
Salford did he for a while. Gary Jack, Salford.
He finished his career.
Yeah, he was Salford. He was at
Yeah.
Salford for a while. He
Yeah,
played
he was.
at the Willows. Oh, that was gold.
But yeah, Balmain Hall of Famer, 1987 Golden Boot recipient, and he was New South Wales fullback for 6 straight years. Played 22 games for Australia and in the number one. Just an outstanding, brutally strong, quick, fast, and just take no shit sort of fullback.
And his young fella turned to the dark side and plays AFL.
Yes,
There we go.
Certainly
That
did.
hurts.
My number 2 would have to be go back to the 2005 season for the Tigers in the grand final season. Brett Hodgson, absolutely outstanding bloke, great leader of the team. He actually won Dally M the fullback in 2005, and has won the 2009 Man of Steel award in the UK. Just an exciting fullback that, when he's paired with a spine like Benji, Robbie Farah, a young Benji, young Robbie Farah, and just a magical Scotty Prince in the halves. It just clicked that year. What he managed to do and chime into the line when he needed to throw the ball as basically a third half was just amazing. That year in 2005, little fun fact, he actually was the leading point scorer in 2005 with 308 points, and still to this day has not been beaten.
Mate, we're lucky, mate. We've got you and I off the cuff. We've got Statman over here,
Yeah.
all the stats. So we've got the season covered, mate. We're good all year, because you and I have got nothing when it comes to this. He's all over it.
I wrote it down 2 minutes ago.
He's all over it. He got us covered. We're good.
I'll wing it.
Yeah.
And my number 1, I think the ultimate modern fullback, James Tedesco. You can't go past his positional play, the speed, and the ability to turn a game on its head. It's just scintillating to watch.
He's quick. He's got some toe, that's for sure.
Just on them two, so Tedesco's 102 kilograms, and Brett Hodgson's the most slight fullback
Yes.
I've ever seen, but one of the toughest.
Yes.
So it's chalk and cheese, but still absolutely fantastic.
He actually, in our household, he gets called the champ. He's just the champ to us, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic coach as well. Did a little bit of coaching with him at Widnes.
Okay.
Real big raps. He's really good.
Yeah, knowledge is just...
Yeah, real good.
Yeah.
He'll do well with Hull. He'll do well. No? Well,
What do you got?
I'm glad you said about Gary Jack, because that's what I've got.
Well, there you
I've
go.
got my of fullback. The only downside to Gary Jack was that Henderson Gill went round him for the for Great Britain side that time. But that's the only person I've ever seen him go around
Yes.
him. His positional play was exceptional, and in today's game, I think he'd be absolutely outstanding.
Yes.
I like Brett Hodgson again. Real tough competitor and brave. But I've got a couple of golden oldies. So I've got George Fairbairn, who used to play for Wigan.
Show your age, aren't you?
I am. In the 80s, he was the first full-back, and we signed him from Hull KR in 1982, I think. Pete might get me right on that. £72,500, which was an absolute, like £1 million now.
I was in Nappy in 1982.
Yeah. And he was Scottish, George.
He
and
just graduated
He
high
come
school.
from Kelso Rugby Union. See, this is all up there. Memory's still good. Come from Kelso Rugby Union. And he was absolutely outstanding. Goal kicker, just unbelievable. He got us out of the second division, and we went into the old first division. And then when I was coaching at Whitehaven, he was the touchline director at Batley, and it was a real privilege, to see him and thing. And he was a lovely chap as well. So that was George Fairbairn. But my number 1, growing up as a kid, he's a good friend of mine. It was Steve Hampson, and
I almost put Hampo in mine. He could catch anything.
oh, he come from Rugby Union. I think from
Yeah.
Preston Grasshoppers,
Grasshoppers, yeah,
or
he was,
Fylde. And
Yeah.
he was like a migrating salmon going up for the ball, but he'd run at speed and then he'd carry on. Not the biggest, always the fittest. Absolute great bloke. Coached with him for a couple of years at Wigan. But yeah, just
He got let down by Wigan.
yeah, he got shit on by Wigan, and you know what? He goes around now with no profile at all, and he's such a humble guy.
I was
So-
coached by Steve.
Yeah, no, yeah, he went to Lancashire Links.
Yeah,
didn't he?
coached in Lancashire.
So yeah, just overall a real good bloke as well. So that's what that sits with me. But there's,
Makes a big
I
impression.
think overall the best fullback in the world by a mile is Tedesco.
Yeah.
About 100, for me anyway.
Fullbacks got them covered.
Done.
So we had 9 options, and we ended up with 8 different ones. There you go. That's our rugby league for you. Eh? Next week we're going to do wingers. Next week, those blokes hang around a footy team. They're not really. They just hang around a team, don't they? That's what they do.
Those guys are heavier than props now.
Yeah.
That's
I don't want to play in the middle.
Well, we go back to the fitness of the game.
Yeah.
You know, you got your props, your Ryan Suttons who's doing 71 minutes at 104 kilos, and then you got your wingers at 110 kilos.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the
Their kick return is just awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, and the back three getting out of exit. You know that's why they need these sort of people. The diversity of the games is going through the roof, and if you're not big and not agile, you're just not in the mix. Are you?
Just on that, that's how I sort of sell the game to new people to rugby league, because I believe rugby league's a sport where any kid can score a try. So you can get jammed into an Aussie rules game and play full back and not see the ball for half the game.
Yeah, true.
So our game is so inclusive that even the big fellas get a good run for it. So
Yeah.
I think it's a good inclusive game for that sort of stuff.
It is. Like I said, next week wingers. We'll be on now. Go get on our special guest. Every week we'll have someone new around the world to come have a chat with us on off the bench. We've got a long list already, gents. They're queuing up to be on the show, which I can't believe. But who'd want to not talk to us? Hey.
Exactly.
So tonight's guest doesn't need a lot of introduction around these parts. He's a former first grade coach of the Sharks. Took us to our first grand final since 2008. Former Scottish international, played for the Brisbane Broncos, London Broncos, Sheffield Eagles, Castleford Tigers, Salford City Reds to finish up his career in the UK. Darren Shaw, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks very much, guys. Thanks for having me on the third one.
Yeah, mate, good to have you, mate. Mate, you've been a long 12 months. We've had a COVID last year. Obviously, you're currently the state first grade coach at the moment. COVID put a block on last year. Mate, been a long 2 years since that defeat in Darwin in 2019. Surely you're itching at getting out there and putting the ledger right.
Yeah, definitely, mate. It still leaves a bit of a sour taste in the mouth, and with some of the players too. You know, I spoke to a few of the boys at the Nines as well, so everyone's pretty much keen to get back out and rectify things and bring the cup back to WA.
Well, mate, I don't want to rub it in, mate, but they won it 10 years straight, and then I think it was 9 years straight, and the 10th year it fell over, eh?
Someone who's got to leave. At least I'll be renowned for one thing, you know, won't I? So,
Mate, I was sat in that stand with Bobby Cronin, he was absolutely devastated. Poor old bloke, he was devastated. I thought you were going to give him a heart attack. Anyway, we can't win them all. We've been successful for years, can't win them all. Mate, what's your plans? Selection process changing for 2021, I hear. What's your thoughts? What's the plans? Who's new on the ground? What have you been doing?
Yeah, we've obviously contacted all the clubs a number of weeks back. Just to get some feedback and you know, sort of give us some names of players and contact the players, check availability, and also Caleb is up and running with a trial match, which is due to be played on the 14th of April. So he was telling me he's got quite a few registrations for that too. So you know, we might get a few smokies out of that sort of thing too. So it'll be good to go along and watch. And then obviously the end of the game's always a pretty good game too, and a real tight, tough game.
Midweek footy, mate. I bet the first grade coaches can't wait for that midweek footy, an extra game of footy. Hey, Pete.
Over mate.
Yeah.
I think we might have to start bringing the season forward. I think it's a bit different playing an Anzac game before we play first fixture, but that's how it works out. So
Round one used to always be like the first week of April, end of March. So you'd run trials through March. April 1 was round one. Didn't matter where Easter fell. You played footy, and now we've got Easter, so we've got to have a holiday. We can't play footy, and like I think we've sort of lost our way a little bit. Like, I mean, honestly, May for the start of the footy comp.
It's too late.
I mean, we're well past. We've lost players with other competitions. I don't know. That's my thing. I'm on my soapbox tonight. I'm not here to give you grief. So, mate, we've got a couple of questions for the panel. I'm sure they'll have some crackers for you. So, Brett, fire away, mate.
Hey, Des, how you going, mate?
yeah, I'm doing well. Cheers, mate.
Hey, Des, I want to just ask you about some of your sacrifices to coach at first grade at the Sharks over the last few years and stuff like that, and the effort you've put into the club. And a lot of people don't realise actually where you live.
Yeah, when you got a lot of passion for the game, it's it's a bit crazy doing a 200-kilometre round trip to go training. I've asked myself that question quite a few times. But, mate, you know, when you've got a love of the game and you've got a passion for it, and it's probably it's the closest club for me too, and they've always been welcoming and looked after me. I had three and a bit years there thoroughly enjoyed the whole time. So.
You must have gone home for that hour and a bit drive, shaking your head some Thursday nights.
Yeah, that was a tough one, mate. Yeah, especially the Tuesdays actually killed me more when we'd only get about 9 or 10 players there. That really hurt. But
yes.
that was always tough. Obviously, I'm going to make a bit of a sacrifice here and there. And things have changed. Society changed a little bit, and we just sort of don't have that level of commitment that they used to be out there. But hopefully, mate, they'll get it all back and have a successful season again this year. I mean, it was a fantastic finish last year for Rockingham.
Yeah, definitely. The other question I've got for you, mate, is just some of your favourite players that you've coached and why.
Never coached me, mate, unfortunately.
Are you talking local or?
Local, yeah, local.
Yeah, okay, mate. There's just characters too, mate, all throughout the club, isn't there? From the low grades right through, mate. Guys like Bolsey and that, they're good people, just tough on the field and good characters off it. It's been great watching Jules' development over the years, coming through when I first got there. Reserve grade's been probably the standout top forward in the competition at the moment, and then we had some good overseas players, and Stephen Widdon, obviously, Council Minister, but a fantastic fullback for us. Benton was another good one, and probably a big one would have been Anthony Moment, who was unbelievable. How he went back through and played that grand final. I think he had a broken foot and just really took us all the way. So, there's been some great characters, but and that's what makes the club, especially the third grade guys, they're the ones that really bring the club together.
Yeah, no, awesome, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thanks, mate.
What you got, Pistol?
Hey, Daz, how you going?
Yeah, mate, how are you?
Yeah, good, mate, good. Just touching on the commitment thing there. What do you think? I feel your pain, and we've already had a chat by text over the pain of like getting, you sort your session out and you drive up there and you're thinking of what drills are going to produce and go forward if there's that many there, and then you turn up and there's 8 there. I just want you to express the feeling when you see that to us.
Oh, yeah, well, you see, don't you? It's, you go out, like you said, you're all prepared, you're all pumped. For me, Tuesday night was always the most important night of the week, and to go out and watch them coming in dribs and drabs, and then you've got a total of 8 or 9, and it's very disheartening, believe me, and especially then you've only got the Thursday really to prep the side for the Saturday game, but people don't see a lot of that sort of stuff that goes on behind the scenes there. And then obviously when you don't perform, the guys are wondering why. But for me, Tuesday was always a really important night. And just going back to your original question, it can be very disheartening to go out and only see 9, 10 players there.
Yeah, I feel your pain. What is painful more is I don't take that personal. It's just the way it is. But what I do,
dog does though. He kicks it up when he gets home.
Yeah, the dog gets it on the missus. What's more painful for me is the boys what turn up. Your Tylers and your Juleses are there, every session. Your AJs who are there, totally committed to the club sort of thing. I just sometimes don't understand the mentality of the others, and because they're very close, these guys, and we're really tight. I just wish they'd turn up for each other, and and if they do turn up, they know they've got the ability and the quality in the ranks to win this comp by a long way. I feel your pain there. Just on your on the state team, what's your thoughts with letting 18 and 19-year-olds trial? Because believe me, there's some good kids here, mate. There's some real good kids who'll.
No, there is, and I looked at the initially when I put a couple of squads together and forwarded through to Crowe a couple of nights ago, and then I didn't find out until recently that they are going to be doing this trial, which is coming up obviously on the 14th. But yeah, prior to that, we picked a couple of the younger blokes and the young halfback there. We got in contact with it. Put him on the bench as a young half from South Perth called Luke David. A couple of young North Beach kids in Bowman Stein and what's his name? I can't remember his name. Ryan Burley, I think his name was. He played for the Nines early sides there, and two for our kids as well. And Gavin Thomas and Nathan Riggs, I think the last names were. So that was the idea of introducing the younger blokes still, get them in that environment, and just get them ready for a transition over the next few years as well, and hopefully be long-term state players.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Good on you. Nice talking to you, Daz.
So, Daz,
Cheers, mate.
mate, the burning question we've all got. Oh, how do I ask this? 2nd of May, 2nd of May, 1998. You guys make it to the promised land of Wembley for the Challenge Cup final. Mate, let's be honest, no one give you a chance. Mate, the bookmakers give you nothing. Mate, we bought tickets to Olympic Gallery to treat ourselves with having a good day out and an easy win. Didn't go to plan, mate. You guys spoiled the party, played awesome, had a win. Was it 17 points to 8? Mate, what is it like to be a Challenge Cup medal winner, coming from Australia and going all that way and doing it like that? Forget the Wigan bit. I mean, what does it feel like, mate, to be a Challenge Cup medal winner?
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, probably not so much. The kids these days probably wouldn't do it as much, sit up and watch the Wembley, but I know we did when we were young.
Yep.
And you see the Sterlings and Kennys there, and that was obviously years in the 80s now. And yeah, to get the opportunity to even go out there was unbelievable. And I actually watched a footage of John Keir talking the other day. He's now Bradford Bulls. Just still sends tingles down the spine, I'll be honest with you. And that's 23 years ago, So, so John said to us on the day, you'll never forget this. We have quite a few meetups actually. There's a few of the guys that live in Perth, and Woody and Michael Jackson.
Yep.
A couple of boys over east, and we had a real good catch up with the World Cup. There was about 13 of us all up. Ended up in Perth. There was John Keir and our chairman as well. So yeah, just to see each other again, it's like yesterday. You just got that special bond, and it was absolutely fantastic.
I hope the chairman paid for the drinks when he made on the bet he put on. He must have cleaned up.
Our chairman?
Yeah, he must have cleaned up on the bet.
Oh, he got us at 33s and put 1,000 on it on the day, so he had a pretty good day, mate. So, the only thing, I think we played Wigan the week after, actually, in the league as well.
Yeah, Don Valley.
Yeah,
you were still all pissed, I think.
Yeah, some payback there.
Mate, thanks for your time, mate. Really appreciate your time tonight, being the first guest off the bench. You can put that on your list up with a Challenge Cup winners medal, mate. You've been off the bench with the boys. Mate,
no problem.
all the best for the season ahead, mate. Let's hope we see you around the traps, mate. Have a good one. All the best.
No worries at all. Thanks very much, everyone, guys, and all the best for the day.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, see you,
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, guys. Good night.
Put your readers on, lad. Put your readers on, you can see.
I've left them
Your
in
readers.
camera, haven't I? Well, who's that one there then?
That's Manly.
Manly and Panthers.
Oh, those shithouse.
Oh, yeah,
Quality.
Oh, well, it was good to have a chat with Darren. Been a long time. He lives down in Bunbury, Country WA. We're good to catch up with him.
Good bloke.
He's a good bloke, mate. He's been around the Sharks for a few years now, and hopefully a few of our young blokes going to run the stateside this year, and he'll give a firm eye over him. I'm hoping he gets Bransby all excited and want to come back playing for
Exactly.
because whatever we're doing is not working at the moment. So
Nah, there is a talent with Bransby there, but yeah, we'll move on.
All right.
I want you back, Brands.
Love you, Bransby. Bloody hell are you? Move on to our final part about the show, and obviously when the season starts, we'll tip the NRLWA competition, but we'll do the NRL as well each week.
Yep.
So Easter weekend, bumper weekend of footy starts tomorrow night.
Yep.
So we'll go through the games and get you guys' thoughts on the games and obviously a tip for each game. I'll write them down because I know Pete's not going to write them down, so I'll write down who has what. So, all right, first game, Seagulls and Panthers. Panthers running second, Eagles running 16th. They're having a good run, the old man, the Seagulls, aren't they?
I think we'll all agree on this one.
They've got serious problems. Serious problems. Foreign and Cherry Evans not got much go forward to work off the back, but non-existent. Panthers, Potter won't like me saying this, but they'll fade away this year. They're not the best side I've seen. They're going all right at the moment. Again, they've had zero injuries like they did last year, but I believe they'll be 4th or 5th, but I don't rate them. But I think Panthers with 40 though. I think the shackles have certainly fell off for me.
Yeah, they're in trouble. That game's live on 9 and KO, so if you want to see that, it's a live broadcast tomorrow night, Thursday night footy. Leading into the Easter weekend, it's a Good Friday footy. My boys are Rabbitohs having a run. Yes, the Bulldogs. Bulldogs are in all sorts. Obviously, feel a little bit sorry for Baz out there. I mean, he's trying to turn around a club that's had some bit bad bad salary cap issues for a number of years now, and we're told that salary cap issue's been cleared up, and we can now sign players. And but it's not been overnight success, is it? It's going to take some time. And
Yeah, it's
do you think,
progress.
you think they'll give him time? Do you think they'll give him some time or what?
Well, I think he's got another year yet until he really gets the couple more earners off his books. He's certainly putting his stamp on it and doing it his way, and that takes time. So whether it's the NRL and it's cutthroat, whether they give him time, I don't know. But I see him getting beat with 30. I do.
Yeah, Rabbitohs for me and all day for me. But interesting one though. Local WA Junior Jackson Tapine from Allen Rabbitohs.
Yes.
Named on the extended bench for the Bulldogs tomorrow, so he'll know tomorrow if he's in the 70 or not.
Yes.
So be great to see Jackson make his NRL debut on the week on Friday. It'll be awesome to see.
Yep.
So we got Rabbitohs all three on Rabbitohs, eh?
3 on Rabbitohs.
You guys aren't very controversial, are you? Second game on Friday is obviously the Broncos against the Melbourne Storm. Broncos, tough start of the year for them. Storm, we all know the changes they've had there with Cameron Smith, a factor in him going, and how they're going to travel throughout the season. This game's been relocated, I think, to Sydney because of the COVID outbreak.
Yeah, they're all in a bubble there.
So I don't look beyond Storm, to be honest with you. Broncos are in all sorts for me. Look, last weekend's win means nothing, I don't think, against the Dogs.
No, they haven't. No, definitely Storm for that one.
I think the Storm will be there and thereabouts. I think they'll be in the grand final again. I can't see past them.
Every year, don't they?
Yeah, just repeat, do the little things right. And again, they're doing it at speed as well, and they just bring big man after big man off the bench. It's,
that Cameron Munster's a special player.
Yeah, he's awesome, man. And I didn't rate him when I first come over here, but he is one of the real good competitor, and he's real strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Melbourne are going to be there all season.
Tell you what did me, that round one performance, the first 20 minutes against the Rabbitohs, wow, it was quick.
Yeah.
And everything turned a goal for him. It was good.
Yeah.
Let's move on. We go to Saturday. Out in the Shire there, Sharks against the Cowboys. It's an interesting round this week. There's a lot of like the top 4, 6 against the bottom 6. Obviously the Cowboys can't turn a trick at the moment. They're in all sorts.
No,
the coach, I don't know where he's going to chuck it in. I don't know what's going to do with the coach because he's in all sorts at the minute. Sharks plodding along.
They're going all right, eh?
Yeah, everyone's not Morris, the coach, but he's been alright.
Well, he goes all right. He's had a lot of.
He's had a tough gig, hasn't he?
Mate, he made the 20s to the grand final and won it. He's a good coach. He's Morris.
He isn't good enough, Nick, to go run out and fill
Oh
in for him.
yeah, 100%, mate. Yeah, he strikes well a bit still. Yeah. But the Cowboys, they're probably the worst side I've seen for effort wise.
Yes.
They just no push on the inside. Just If you lose money on that, there's only Woody'd lose money on that, I reckon. Definitely.
But
he'll be betting for the Cowboys.
out at Sharks though, Fafita could be out the door by the looks of it. Could be on the way to the Dragons, I reckon.
Yeah.
Dragons, like they love signing players who've got baggage. They love it.
I'll just spin a bit about Fafita. So obviously I was down at the Sharks for a week, doing a bit of coaching and training with them, and I was just doing a bit of the review of the session, and then next minute Paul Gallen comes in with Fafita straight into Flanagan's office. Fucking hell, all hell's breaking loose, sort of thing. Comes out, walks out, right, away he goes. I said, what's all that about, sort of thing? Yeah, he didn't play the ball proper 3 times in training. So that's the sort of fine detail. They're going and they dragged him in the office, sort of thing. So, yeah. But
you don't play the ball properly in the game, it's a turnover, isn't it?
There you go, and he done it 3 times, sort of thing. They had a referee doing a scrimmage game with him, and he done it. So that's the fine detail these clubs are going to. But yeah, I think the Sharks will go all right this year. I think they'll be top 8.
Yep.
They'll do all right.
Yeah,
I think he'd be a good for the Dragons.
I see him as probably the fittest team in the comp at the moment.
Yeah, they're going all right.
Sharks.
Mm.
Yeah. So we're all on the Sharks as we go.
Sharks, yep.
There's some weight on the Sharks then.
Yep.
Next one, this potentially is a game around for me this week.
Yeah.
Potentially a game around. Titans and the Raiders. Now that's obviously in Sydney as well in the bubble. That's not in the Gold Coast. Mate, Raiders last week, the third on the ladder. The game was pretty much done and dusted at half time last weekend. Obviously, we've talked today about the issue about concussion injuries in the game and so on. It had a massive effect on the Raiders last week.
Continue to be.
I thought they'd gone with that game. Obviously, ran out of legs, unfortunately. Obviously, we saw the forward pass try That's been talked about all week. We all on the same page. It was a full pass.
Yes.
Yeah, it happens though, doesn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
the Warriors got done the week before
Yep.
with that try, so it evens itself out over
It
the
does.
year. Doesn't make it any easier, but great game to watch.
It's been a good game to watch, man. And also you were there, Pete.
Loved it.
Enjoy the weekend.
Oh yeah, great.
Good chance to catch up with the boy. First time in a while, mate. I know he's over at Christmas, but
Yeah.
you've
nice.
been wanting to see him play NRL for all your life, mate, and you got to see it the weekend.
Yeah.
Good.
Bit of lump in the throat when he
Yeah.
come out, and yeah, the clap. Oh, not the clap itself. the camera clap. Yeah, the clap was probably the best clap you can get.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was awesome. It was real good. Spent a lot of time with him and just chilled out. But Canberra's cold, let me tell you. But this week they've got Hudson Young back in the back row, and Chris is in the centre. So they've got the thing with the Raiders. They've got good backup. They've got a good squad, and I think they'll win quite easily. I think the Gold Coast is still off yet.
Yeah, that's my next question about the Gold Coast. Obviously, everyone talk about top four for the Gold Coast. I find that amazing that we're talking about a top four side because they've been for the last 5 years. I mean, top 8 at a push. Have we seen enough in the last first 3 weeks for that?
I like them.
Yeah?
I like them.
You also like the Tigers, mate.
Yeah, I do. I like.
That's a worry as
I
well.
like an underdog, but no, they're exciting.
Yeah.
They're exciting, and on any given day they could turn it on anyone. So they're not going to be a consistent top 4 side. I don't see them in the top 4. I see them sneaking into the 8, but they're going to upset a few people. I think.
Who are you going to take?
Titans.
Titans for you. Pete?
Raiders for me. I think they'll win by 18. He just that right edge you're going to have to look after Fafita. Don't go up top. Don't get knocked off. We've already done a bit. We watched
He's awesome, isn't he?
we watched a video on Sunday with the Titans, and he says I won't be going up top. I'll be going chopping. But yeah, I think the Raiders will hit back.
For me, after last week's defeat, Raiders for me. And you know what? Emotionally, mate, team full of Poms going to get behind the Poms and back home.
Absolutely.
Won't be called 2 Poms on for no reason, is it? Next game, obviously, we've got the Knights at home to the Dragons. 4th versus 11th. Knights, they were horrible last weekend.
Woeful.
Yeah, it's a funny one. I think this is going to be a good game. I think because obviously the Dragons have got the tails up. They've had a couple of wins and they've got a bit of belief in the side. And
He who holds onto the
Newcastle,
ball wins.
yeah, they did everything, but they tried to lose it, didn't they? Virtually the Knights. They were just. I don't know, but again, on the day, real good. Still waiting for Pongy to come back. He makes him take those things.
I actually look at the team. He's got a couple of weeks in the
A
game.
couple of weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
Connor Watson's a good player on that team. He is a really good injection into that team.
This Dragon side, they've got some names in the side. Like, what are we thinking? Are they going to give it a shake or what? The top 8 maybe?
Oh God, no, mate.
No chance?
No, I don't think so. They've obviously they put the Hearts under a lot of pressure in the NRL, and Ben Hunt had a decent game last week, but again, one game doesn't make it.
Yeah, it's the same guy that cost grand final. Don't want to bring it up again, but yeah.
Yeah, I just think they've not got enough strength in depth. But we'll see. It'll be a good game. That. Looking forward to that one.
So we got.
The Smoky Dragons.
Yeah, that's a typical Tigers fan. Pete. I'm
going to go with the Knights. Just.
Yeah, I reckon. I'm taking Knights probably 12 plus. I reckon, mate. To be honest with you. This is to me is the second biggest game around because I reckon it could be an upset here.
Well, certainly.
Roosters versus Warriors. Problem we got is can the Warriors back it up from last week and go a second week and do it again? That's always a question we have with the Warriors. But mate, the Roosters are busted up. They are busted.
Well, to be fair, the game plan for the Raiders against the Roosters last year was to hit behind the markers and it worked well. Exactly what the Warriors did to the Raiders last week, and they did it really well. They executed it really well. And Nick Arena getting off the back of it, and the hooker, I don't know his name, he played really, really well. So
Wade Egan.
yeah.
Yep.
So if they can keep
Statman's got it.
the Statman,
Keeps us honest, mate.
if they can play,
Someone here with a brain.
they can play a bit more off the cuff like again, and they're allowed to. Anything can happen. But I still think the Roosters will have enough.
Yeah, Roosters for me. I just think the Warriors back to back. They just haven't got it in them. And now I've said it. The whole club will be all getting excited on the back of me now. Christie bagging the Warriors and all the case. And I'll cop it now for this, but I just can't see it back to back. They're just not consistent for me. They played a busted Raiders side last week. Roosters will sneak over in and just get the job done, I reckon.
they stuck to a game plan second half and they executed it well. And I thought, I've got some really, really big blokes there. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, I'm Warriors on that one.
Go show
Yeah.
long shot. I know.
I just
like
think-
all season it.
No.
Long shot, you want a long shot.
No, I don't think it's a long shot.
Huh?
I think Roosters are busted.
Nah, well, I started the conversation with saying they're busted, but mate, the top of the ladder, you're not top of the ladder for no reason.
No, and I really
Yeah.
enjoyed the press conferences after last week's game from the Roosters game. Trent Robinson's definitely a glass half full kind of guy, and he's really, really looking forward to that new combination that he's going to have to grow. But I think that's a few weeks off from clicking.
Okay, so Warriors for you. And to finish the weekend, obviously Easter Monday, last game, the Toothless Tigers, your boys,
Yeah, my boys.
against Phil Smith's Parramatta Eels. Boys, these are two sides that are just so Jekyll and Hyde every week. Everyone talks to the Eels up. Is it the Eels? The Eels are like Warrington of Super League, mate. It's the Eels. Say it's their year. It's always their year, but it never actually is.
Yeah.
What are we thinking?
Well, I don't go against my own team, so
No.
I'm never going to tip against my Tigers. If the Tigers turn up, it'll be a good game.
Travelling well, 15th, doing good.
If the Tigers turn up, we'll just wait and see what happens.
It's at home at Tiger Town, so it's at home.
Yeah.
Does that help? Does that
No,
help?
nothing helps the Tigers at the moment. No.
I think it's in them, definitely in them. I mean, they posted 50 points against Manly in the pre-season game, didn't they?
Yeah.
And people were raving about him. The Eels are just a big letdown every year, aren't they? Sort of thing. They've paid a lot of money, got a lot of players. But yeah, I'm going to go for the Tigers as well.
That's your question about the Eels. How much longer has the coach got there? Let's be honest. He's had money to spend. They spent a lot of money on high performance, and then still not delivering nothing. How much longer has he got?
Probably coaching too many teams, because my cousin in Sydney, he's was also the coach of his under-14s team as well.
Oh, really?
While coaching Parramatta. So maybe
Damn, his hands.
too many things on his mind.
Do you know what's that, Pete? I've got a 13 side that he's coaching. Is that as well, Pete?
Give me a ring.
Oh, straight on that.
Give Brad Arthur a ring, not me.
Obviously, Madge, you know Madge quite well. You got a lot of time for Madge. I know you did a lot of work under him when he was at Wigan. Is the Madge factor playing a role here? The toughness, and we know that every team that Madge has, there's no compromise in what he expects.
No,
Is this too much?
He's got his pack now, but hasn't he?
Yeah,
They're big.
He's got his pack there. He's a real intense guy. He demands, he demands effort. But again, he's got to. He can go one way or the other. You can slacken off and let him roll a little bit, and then work it back up again, or you just carry on the way you are. I think if he carries on the way he is,
Might lose a few.
Yeah, he might lose a few.
He's lost a few in the last.
I mean, what's the captain's name? He was last year.
Mbai.
He's already said,
Yeah.
I'm on 800,000. You're not getting the money out. Getting your money's worth.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy to go somewhere else, sort of thing. Nobody says that. You know what I mean? On 800,000.
We lost Josh Alloway last year, and the year before Ryan Madison.
Yeah.
Same
So,
sort of thing.
What about your centre?
but should he be on
Sorry,
it?
Allure, he can play reserves for the rest of the year. That's
You
fine.
happy with that, yeah?
I don't know if he'll get in the Sharks. Not if Bransby comes back anyway, Bransby.
No place for that. No, I don't think so. It'll work.
Yeah. You can have Lelua's pay as well.
So we're going Tiger Town.
Tiger Town.
Tiger
Yeah,
Town.
I'm going to go Tiger Town.
I'm going to go to Eels just to be different, to be honest with you, because
Right.
it can't all be the same all the time, can we?
Nah.
And to round the night off, this is the big one here. So every week we're going to work with our partner at Sportsbet, and we've got a Macca's Mad Multi every week.
Yeah.
What you got, mate?
Well, as you know, I like backing a few underdogs and stuff like that. So what I found is Titans into the Dragons into the Warriors.
Say that again.
Titans into the Dragons into the Warriors.
Titans, Dragons, Warriors.
Yep. And then Brandon Smith, anytime try scorer, is paying $58.47 at the moment.
You heard it here first, guys. $58.40. Say it again so the viewers get it.
Titans, Dragons, Warriors with Brandon Smith, anytime try scorer.
We're going to get the back of that, boys, aren't we?
Ah, it's good to have.
Nah.
Nah.
Nah, Pete's out. Pete's gone already.
Won't waste my money.
Well, gents, it's been good. First off the bench. 2 Poms and Ozzy. It's been a good laugh, boys.
Good fun.
Thanks for your time.
Yep.
Thank you.
We'll do it again next week, I think. Well, depends what kind of views we get. We might get abused again.
Oh, we'll get abused.
Yeah, but I'm down the gym. Thanks a lot for your time. Obviously, we'll go again, same time, same back channel next week.
Yep.
Good luck for the season, Pete. I'm sure over the next few weeks we'll have some good conversations around footy and what's going on. Thanks to PR Video Creations for this done for us. Really appreciate all your effort. And go to Sharks.
Definitely.
Just one last thing. See you tomorrow night at training.
Josh Brand.
6:30.
Yeah.
Josh Bransby and crew.
Yes. Thanks, guys.
See you later.
See ya.